Welcome to College Sport Check for Monday, December 14th. Scores and schedule. First, the scores. Here are the basketball scores for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So on Friday, we had Pittsburgh defeating East Washington 84-51. TCU over Prairie View A&M 73-55. And then UT Martin defeating UTPA 72-64. Valparaiso over Chicago State 71-53. North Dakota State defeating North Dakota 69-67. Not a lot of games on Friday, but Saturday a whole bunch of college basketball on Saturday, and had a bunch of good games. You had Kentucky, Arizona State, Wichita State, and Utah. USC and Texas, with the Texas winning with the buzzer beater. That was a very good game. Michigan State and Florida. So here are the scores for college basketball for Saturday. Providence defeating Bryant defeating Providence 67-54. Purdue over YSU 95-64. Oklahoma over Oral Roberts 96-73. Louisville defeats Eastern Michigan 86-53. Butler over Tennessee 94-86. Kentucky defeating Arizona State 72-58. Wichita State over Utah 67-50. Maryland defeating Maryland Eastern Shore 77-56. Texas over UNC 84-82. Buzzer beater by James Feliz. And Xavier defeating Cincinnati, and they had that little scuffle on Saturday. Xavier defeating Cincinnati 65-55. Some other scores from the weekend. Michigan State defeating University of Florida 58-52. Boise State over Oregon 74-72. Kansas over Oregon State 82-67. And of course UCLA defeating Gonzaga 71-66. Middle Tennessee defeating Auburn 89-81. Detroit over Bowling Green 95-90. Michigan over Delaware State 82-33. Tecumseh defeating St. Francis PA 67-65. Louisiana Tech over Louisiana Lafayette 91-79. Marquette defeating Wisconsin 57-55. Navy defeating BMI 68-62. Ohio defeating Cleveland State 76-67. UConn over Ohio State 75-55. Purdue defeating Ball State 72-63. Georgetown over UNCW 87-82. Georgia State over Old Dominion 68-64. Gardner-Webb defeating Furman 73-63. Some more scores here. After we do the scores, we'll go over the Heisman Trophy winner, which is of course Derrick Henry, football, and also the Army-Navy game. Well, a lot of basketball today. So here's the rest of the scores from Saturday. Northeastern defeating Stony Brook 75-62. Texas A&M CC over UTSA 85-79. Buffalo defeating Binghamton 80-64. IPFW Indiana University Purdue University Fort Wayne. Now we know what IPFW is. IPFW defeating Austin Peay 85-68. Illinois over UIC 83-79. Creighton over IUPUI 90-65. South Carolina State over Jacksonville 81-74. LIU Brooklyn defeating Niagara 80-79. Penn State over Louisiana Monroe 54-50. Western Michigan defeating Mary Grove 101-59. Army over the Air Force 90-80. James Madison defeating George Mason 69-46. Tennessee State over Grambling 64-52. Texas A&M defeating Kansas State 78-68. Evans over Mississippi Valley State 95-60. Ole Miss over Southeast Missouri 75-64. Lafayette defeating Sacred Heart 90-86. Lamar defeats Liberty 73-58. Redford over Howard 92-91. Rita over Charleston Southern 82-72. South Utah defeats Bristol 79-41. Central Michigan over Texas Southern 79-71. Stephen F. Austin defeating Arkansas Tech 86-48. Akron defeating Bethune-Cookman 81-60. Jackson State over Blue Mountain 75-37. Cal State Bakersfield over South Dakota 67-77. Nevada beating Drake 79-71. Western Illinois defeats Eastern Illinois 64-57, and Nevada beating Drake 79-71. All right, we had that written down twice. Marshall over Eastern Kentucky 96-72. Central Florida defeats Florida Atlantic 75-61. Holy Cross over Hartford 90-68. Richmond defeats Longwood 77-59. And Indiana defeating McNeese State 105-60. Washington over Montana 92-72. Chattanooga over Dayton 61-59. Kent State over Canisius 84-77. Delaware defeats Marist 70-69. UMKC defeats Mississippi State 72-67. Columbia over NJIT 66-56. Oakland defeating Toledo 76-64. Oklahoma over Oral Roberts 96-73. Siena defeating Albany 78-70. Arkansas State defeats Arkansas Monticello 104-71. St. Louis over Alabama A&M 75-58. And Houston Baptist defeats Arlington Baptist 110-53. UNC Greensboro over Belmont Abbey 84-61. Memphis defeats Manhattan 89-57. Georgia State over Old Dominion 68-64. Connecticut over Ohio State 75-55. Fresno over Pacific 71-52. Princeton defeats Lipscomb 78-64. Portland and Sacramento State. Portland wins this one 81-73. Arkansas Little Rock over DePaul 66-44. New Orleans and William Baptist. New Orleans wins it 83-66. Davidson and Western Colorado. Davidson defeats Western Colorado 87-54. And those are the scores from Saturday. For Sunday, as follows, a couple of games. Villanova defeating LaSalle 76-47 on Sunday. Houston over LSU 105-98. Alabama defeating Clemson 51-50. Boston College over Maine 91-60. Miami, Ohio defeats Wright State 72-67. Ellen over Wesley 106-77. Denver defeats Weber State 69-68. Monmouth over Wagner 73-54. Texas State over Texas Pan American 68-59. South Dakota State defeating UC Santa Barbara 86-68. And Tulsa defeats Missouri State 78-61. And of course, the big game from yesterday was the St. John's Red Storm and Syracuse Orangemen. St. John's winning 84-72. Seton Hall over St. Petersburg 72-46. Florida State over Southeastern Illinois 75-58. Nebraska defeats Rhode Island 70-67. Colgate over New Hampshire 75-59. Charleston over North Greenville 89-52. Eastern Carolina defeats North Carolina A&T 71-60. FGCU over UMass 77-76, and Notre Dame defeating Loyola Chicago 81-61. Virginia Tech over Lamar 88-53. Milwaukee defeating Judson 125-74. Boy, I love college basketball. There's like a million schools out there that I've never heard of. Judson, where is it? Judson. Judson. It's like Hudson, but with a J. Western Kentucky defeats Indiana State 75-62. Fordham over Copen State 92-55. UNC Asheville over Campbell 80-60. Boston University defeats Quinnipiac 64-57. USC over Yale, 68-56. St. Joseph's over Temple, 66-65. Alabama State and Jacksonville State, 63-60. NC State over South Florida, 65-46. Illinois State over Murray, 63-61. Pittsburgh defeats Morehead State, 72-62. High Point over Virginia Wise, 111-72. West Virginia over Louisiana Monroe, 100-58. Montana State defeats San Jose State, 91-83. Arizona over Missouri, 88-52. Wyoming defeats New Mexico State, 62-59. And one more, Omaha defeating Grand Canyon, 108-104. So on tap for tonight for Monday, basketball schedule, the college sport check notables for December 14th. We got Tulane and Prairie View, out of order here real quick. 7 o'clock, Stetson and Tennessee State, 7 o'clock, ESPN 3, and then North Florida and Florida International, 7 o'clock on ESPN 3. So it depends on which part of the country you're on. That's what they're showing. Navy and South Carolina Upstate, also at 7 o'clock. No network posted for that game. Hartford and Sacred Heart, 8:30, no network. And then Tulane and Prairie View A&M at 8 o'clock. That's on ESPN 3. Then for Tuesday, okay, we're just doing Monday, Tuesday. We'll be back on Wednesday with Wednesday schedule. So 7 o'clock on Tuesday, Cincinnati and Norfolk State, okay, 7 o'clock ESPNU. Duke and Georgia Southern, 7 o'clock on ESPN 2. Clemson and Presbyterian, 7 o'clock ESPNU. Wake Forest and UNC Greensboro, 7 p.m., ESPN 3. And then also at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, it's Michigan and NKU, and that's on the Big Ten Network. 8 o'clock Tuesday, Memphis and Southern University. It's on ASN. And then at 9 o'clock, Georgia Tech and VCU, ESPN 2. And then Wisconsin and Texas A&M at 9 o'clock. And then at 11 o'clock, it's Oregon and the UC Irvine, the Ducks and the Anteaters. That's at 11 p.m. Tuesday, and that's on the Pac-12 network. And I'm going to have to say, go Anteaters. All right, so Army-Navy game on Saturday. 14th consecutive time Navy beat the Army on Saturday down in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. Navy beat the Army 21-17. And the 2015 Heisman Trophy winner, Derrick Henry, Alabama. Derrick Henry, first running back and Alabama player to win since Mark Ingram 2009. Derrick Henry broke Herschel Walker's record, SEC record, breaking Herschel Walker's SEC record for rushing yards and tied Tim Tebow's touchdown record with 23 rushing scores this season. Derrick Henry scored in all 13 Crimson Tide regular season games. Derrick Henry's rushing yards tally 1,986. 1,986 yards on 339 carries. 26 or more carries in 7 games in the course of the final, and in the course of the final 2 weeks, 90 carries, 460 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chris McCaffrey, quarterback from Stanford, voted second, and Deshaun Watson from Clemson, the running back, was voted third. So there you go. From New York, this is Manny Allegretto. Be good and be safe, and this has been College Sport Check.
That's it, sports fans. Thanks for watching, and good night.